So in 3 words, I would say innovation, digital, and I would think adaptive.
3 words I think we can describe this event would be partnership, networking, professional development.
Cross-disciplinary, and future-looking in terms of, effecting the changes, not just following the change, but actually in impacting the change. And engaging the young people is, to me, a very, very important and welcome step.
Definitely energetic, motivational, and truthful. Yes.
I would describe it as transformative and very driven, and I think very insightful for me.
Yeah, I think such events are a melting pot of some sort, where different stakeholders in the industry can come on board, gather, listen to best practices, listen to emerging technologies like what Google or even AWS has presented, listen to what academia has worked with the government agencies, and then push the way the way that technology is being deployed into the industry. So such platforms allow the industry to learn together. Those who are ahead can share their experience. It may be successes, it may be failures with other parts of the industry.
It certainly helps because such symposium actually brings in experts not only from the construction industry, it also bring experts from the tech industry as well. So it actually merge these two industries together, which is actually very important in the age of digitalization and especially AI. It also allow us to actually see what each other are doing. So this is absolutely interesting and very useful for the industry.
This event is very important to break barriers and create new understanding and partnership between clients, partners, etc. So I think we should continue to do that and always have the industry to share best practices and also work with regulators such as BC and JTC, and then we can continue to stay relevant and innovative.
The most insightful thing I took away today was learning about the different systems that have been in place in the real estate industry. So for example, just now when the speakers shared about the rapid system that was being used, I think it's very interesting and eye-opening to me because I've not been exposed to such a system in school especially. So I think it's very useful for me, especially when I start working when I graduate.
Yeah, I think my key advice, I mentioned in my panel earlier, I think don't be afraid to fail. The ability to pilot and trial technologies is important. The speed to test it is also important, but I think don't be afraid to fail.
First advice is actually what I've been saying for many years. When you want to start your digitalization journey, don't look at tech first. Look at the information and the data that you need first. The information and the data that I'm referring to are the information and data that will really drive your business. And then after that, you look at the tech that will actually enable the delivery of such data information to you and your operation. Now, the second thing that we have to look at is basically how can you actually adapt your processes to meet the new digitalization workflows.
I think very importantly, the company needs to know what they're going for. So the objectives need to be very clear. All right. So is it just to hopefully not just to follow the crowd, but the objective to put a step forward to save manpower, for better safety, for better efficiency, and so forth. So the objective needs to be clear. What use case, what business reason are you doing for? I think second one is if you're starting new, all right, you don't have to be overwhelmed by the whole thing. Start small. Look at some standalone solution, something that you can handle. All right, be very clear and then work with the vendor. The key, and which then lead me to the next thing. All right, it's not just getting the vendor, oh hey, you go and do it. All right, but very importantly is the vendor is only bringing the technology. You may bring in the reference side. All right, but it's importantly, we had to contribute regard to how it's going to work in my environment, how it's going to change my current processes, and what benefit I'm going to get. So by working together, I think that's where I think you can bring in the real value. So one project is successful, it's easier to move on to the next. All right, and then you can replicate. Yeah.
So I think the first one is communication. The communication channels have to be very clear from the senior leadership, preferably the top person. He has to communicate very clearly what he wants to the direction of the company to move. Is more important. And the next one is to look at what are the tried and tested technologies that are already in the industry and are being used at scale. Technologies that are used at scale normally mean that it's very stable. That means you may not have downtime. Real estate is a very, very long industry. It goes from land development all the way to even the last supply chain company, and then on the sideline you have consultancy support. So it's actually a very big industry. And for that, you have to rely on reliable technologies and also reliable vendors. And if you're just starting, I think the government has multiple grants schemes available for industry transformation. That such companies start by tapping on such schemes and grants, and then by taking on a government grant, you actually de-risk digital transformation in the event that this technology may not be suitable. At least you de-risk by halving your investment amount.
REDAS have had a long history of very consistent kind of mission and vision with regard to the real estate industry. Regardless of the changes that are taking place and the technologies that are coming up, that putting the people first seems to come across very consistently and strongly. Whether it is in the folks who are delivering, the real estate kind of business, or the people who are actually the consumers at the receiving side, that the holistic consideration of all the parties involved remain very clear and consistent, and I enjoy that very much.
Okay, so I think for me, it's a very different and unique experience coming here today, because it's actually my first time attending an external event that is not held in NUS, and it's also a very different event because we have a lot of distinguished guests and speakers here today. So I think I managed to take away a lot of points that they shared from today's panel discussion and sharing. So I think it's very enriching for me, as I can really get to learn about the real estate industry even deeper, and I think that really intrigued me even more to learn more about the real estate industry in the future as well. Yeah, so hopefully when I graduate next time, I can continue being in the real estate industry. Yeah.
I think over the last events that have been organized by REDAS, I think this is one of the best ones.